Hello everyone, my name's Kathy from the Daily Marker. How are you today? Today, Jennifer, Kristina, and I are going to do studio tours and share them with you. This is my studio here, and this is another angle. I like to mix antiques. I love antiques, and I love using them in my studio. This is Max. He's sitting in an antique chair. I bought these from a friend and had them painted and recovered. This old table was in our house. We got it at a Paris flea market probably 20 years ago. And my studio does not always look like this, so I thought it'd be fun to show you a sped up version of what a disaster it was. It's really more like a studio makeover. So here it is, all cleaned up. It feels so good. I feel much more productive, and now I can share. Throughout this video, I'm going to be showing stills of the before and after, and then at the end, just some slides of what's in the drawers and my favorite antiques that I incorporated into my studio. How's that for a mouthful? So right now, I just want to give you the scope, the perspective of my room. This was I'm 54. I know I'm like so old to a lot of you, and my husband's a builder, so I have this awesome room with sliding doors and double windows on both sides. So I'm just kind of giving you a flow of the room. You can see an overview. These hands are antique. And so I'm just going to kind of scroll around, pan in and pan out. This is the IKEA card with my Copics right at hand. I keep changing where I like to work most. A lot of times it's been on the wood table in the background. Here's both of the chairs. This corner, all these shelves on the left, I like to share cards that people made for me. Here's a photo where I cleaned it up and I have all my cards on display. I also have another area where I display cards on display, where I display cards that people have given me. They're very special to me, and I love to show them when people come in my office. I love to see. Now this is a really bad corner here. Oh, just awful. And here's it all fixed up. So it feels so good. Now I'm going to pan back a little bit. Here's where the sliding doors are, where Max is standing, and then there's another bank of windows in the hallway there. So you could see the shelves on both sides. On the right side, I made the cards. On the left side, cards were given. Now here's another place for me to display cards that were given to me. These were last year's Christmas cards. They're still on display. I actually moved them here just now. This corner, look at what a disaster it was. Now it's all cleaned up. Most of these supplies, when I teach at a women's assessment center, I take those with me. So I've organized those. That's an antique cabinet I had painted white. And this paper holder holds so much paper. I got it online like 5 years ago. It was worth every penny, and it twirls around. It stores so much paper, and I moved it over here after my makeover. I'm panning to the left here, and you can, where the card is where my paper used to be. It's in a much better productive area now. So this is an antique postal desk that I bought at Anthropology. And this is a little bit cleaned up. This is the before. This is where my paper was. There's all a bunch of stuff on top, and now this is how it looks currently. I still have some more envelopes and felt that I need to put in those cubbies, but finally this is the best it's looked in 4 years. This is an antique, well actually it's replacement parts, and I put buttons in these jars. I got this in an antique store years ago. It's a treasured item for me. Now I'm panning to this cart underneath my printer, and these are antique syrup containers. I love this collection. I got these on Etsy, and I have my colored embossing powders in them, and they're super fun to use. Every now and then when you watch my videos, you might have caught one of them. Now on the edge of my desk here, this is a depression glass tray, and this is an antique, I don't know, a thingy. So here's the depression glass tray. I put my washi tapes in there. It's just so fun for me to look at this. Now I'm panning back to that corner, and this is the wood table we talked about. I'm trying to give you a perspective of the whole room, so I'm kind of just swirling around here. Hope it's not making you dizzy. And now on this back counter, you'll see in a minute, just want to give you that perspective again. Max's toy on the floor. So this is how it looked before, just awful, right? I mean, you have to really check this out. And then this is the after. One of those chairs is for Max. The other one is piled with stuff when I taught. And now this is the back of my desk. I couldn't even function here. And this is it all cleaned up. I brought some of my favorite antiques, incorporated. It helped me get more organized. This is my desk. It just looked awful, just piled high with stuff. And now it's all clean and straight. And what I did was I cleaned out my drawers. I simplified what I used. Here's the long shot of how messy everything was. So once I cleaned out the drawers, then I was able to take the stuff that was sitting out all over and put them in the drawers. So I'm going to share with you how I organized and refined what I did. Now this is my favorite counter. It's kind of what you see when you come in the room. You can see the orange typewriter and these antique hands, and then these are toast, English toast holders, and I always had them in my pantry. And somehow I thought that they would be great as a holder for cards that I need to mail out. Now this here is an antique card holder that I got in California at an antique store, and I had it shipped. Fortunately, it broke down into 2 parts. Now these hands I've had for like 20 years. I love them. I've moved them around in different places in my house, and I just decided I have to look at them every day. So now they're holding some books, acting as a bookend, and holding some treasured felt things that people gifted me. So now I'm just going to flip through some photos. So you might notice black lines on the side of the photos, but it just works best with the video for some reason. There's Max in those antique chairs. And while you're admiring Max, we're going to slide on over to my bank of drawers. The drawers are from IKEA. And then I had a top made and a base made. Just the idea is from Jennifer. And in my first drawer, I have my watercolors. In my second drawer, I have my colored pencils and sharpeners. And then in my third drawer, I have my Tombow watercolor markers. I got these white things from a local hardware store, and I love them because they're all white. And then I have gel markers, miscellaneous markers, and some more watercolor shimmer things, just kind of miscellaneous stuff. And this drawer, I have my embossing powders and some fun flock. And then in the last drawer, I have Flower Soft and glitter. So now this is the middle of my bank of drawers. And in the first drawer, I have unfinished cards. The second drawer, I have things that I'll be working on and need to color. I still need to add some things to this drawer here. And then these are some cards. I used to file my cards, but now I'm trying them in the drawers. I think it'll work better. Cards that I need to mail out. This is the Christmas and holiday drawer here, full of cards. And then this drawer is Valentine's and some miscellaneous cards that I need to mail out. So I think this system will work better. Now in the bottom drawer, I have Mama LaHaye inks and Alt New inks. Now this drawer here is one of my most used drawers. This is tapes, foam tape with sticky back, just those things. This is inks, my enamel accents, and my Misties, and then I use this book to flatten a card out once it's been glued. This drawer is embossing paste, my craft mat, distress inks. There are 2 layers on top, the boxes there, and then below that is a little extra space, my sequins, all in rainbow order, and then I've pared down my punches. I'm giving the rest away, and these are my favorites. And then this is buttons. I have so many buttons. And these are my favorite antique buttons, all glorious and gorgeous. Also, I have some Google Eyes, Jingle Bells, Brads, that kind of thing too. Now this drawer is just miscellaneous. The most important thing is the label printer, some polish, battery for the car, camera. And then this drawer needs to be cleaned out. I'm giving all this paper away. I'm going to reorganize this. Now I want to move over to this white cabinet here. I had this put in last year because I just needed more storage. On top, my husband painted this antique, I think it was a library card holder. He painted it orange. I've moved it all around my studio, and this is its resting spot. Now I'm opening up these cupboards. These are inspired by Jennifer McGuire. She is the organizational queen. So on the right here is where I display more cards that have been given to me. They're a treasure. And so you can look to see how she organizes her innards, because that's how I'm supposed to do mine. It's not 100% organized in here yet. I have to move on in there. So each cupboard has 2 doors that open up. The one on the left here is my inks, compliments of Jennifer McGuire. Thank you, Jennifer. This is like got that double-sided tape directly on the door, and then I'm displaying more cards on each side of the doors here, and it's so fun to open up to get a stamp or a stencil or something and see all these beautiful cards. Now this antique stand that I mentioned, I display cards on as well. So it's also a great thing when you need inspiration. So I hope you enjoyed this, and Max says goodbye and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much to Jennifer and Kristina. I love and adore them, and I hope you all have an awesome holiday season. Bye-bye.